Like a lot of students, my days look pretty normal. I wake up, I exercise, I study, I play with friends, and sleep. But there's one thing that keeps showing up in the life that I can't ignore. I'm generally drawn into knowledge in all fields of studies and always ask to myself, why or how this certain event occurs. So, this is a story about why. Since I was 5 years old, I was obsessed with the internet after the internet boom in the 2000s, especially browsing websites in Internet Explorer, playing video games such as Red Alert and Mindscape. I always had a curiosity on how the internet worked, how games are able to track my progress as a whole, and how emails can be sent from large distances. I was also curious on what was the purpose of fertilizers, why doctors prescribe bitter medications when I'm sick, why do I always lose balance when cycling, and that's how my curiosity arc started. In my primary school, I always had a huge obsession in sciences as a whole, especially when it comes to learning new topics and new concepts and practicing it in lab. But specifically, topics related to biology was one of the first subjects that made the world feel connected. It wasn't about memorizing facts, it was always about understanding the inner linings of sciences, and once the curiosity started, it didn't stay in the classroom. I found myself reading beyond what was required, watching videos on cool science experiments and their underlying explanations, searching up terms that I did not understand, doing mathematics that is far ahead of my syllabus, and always asking questions such as how and why a certain event occurs. Over time, I realized something remarkable. For me, sciences and mathematics not only interesting, it feels meaningful when it's learned deeply and also when it's been researched well. During my secondary school years, it was the time where I truly got into science fields such as computer science. For 2 years in my home during MCO, I was able to learn various programming languages such as HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, and SQL for website development and database management. Not only that, I was also studied about machine learning, deep learning, and convoluted neural networks since 2020, right on the time where the AI boom happened in 2022. Not only that, I also studied about global history from prehistory relics to golden era of empires such as the Roman Empire, the Macedonian Empire, the Byzantine Empire, and also the great wars that happened in Earth, such as the Crimean War, the First World War, the Second World War, and the Cold War as well. Learning history allowed me to progress into topics such as global policy making, international politics, and economics, allowing me to understand about the rise and fall of civilizations in human history. Not only that, I also studied about the basics of business and entrepreneurship in my free times in topics that relates to product development, the sixth pillar of successful ventures, and startup capital investment. I also studied about modern philosophies that rule over economics as well, such as the laissez-faire philosophy, which is known as the free trade capitalism, and communism as well. But I did not stop there. I also related my newfound knowledge in fictional universes such as the Star Wars universe, studying about galactic scale civilizations, the galactic economy, the hyper specialization of certain worlds, and so on. I know that every Gen Zers are associated with games as well, and I'm not an exception over here. I've always loved to play Minecraft since I was 7 years old, building massive mega structures by myself, redstone mechanisms such as the working piston plane, and challenging me into hardcore mode games in Minecraft. Playing Minecraft allowed me to test out my new ideas openly while also enhancing my coding skills, especially whenever I'm making use of command blocks in Minecraft. I also involve myself in role playing in Minecraft as well, when I craft my own story and present it in a way that is easily digestible by the large group of audiences. I'm also a storybook geek as well, learning various comics, novels, and storybooks such as the Geronimo Stilton series of books, Star Wars Legends, the Dogman series, and novels of Minecraft. These books allowed me to immerse myself in my imaginations and think creatively without any limits. Not only that, I also listen to podcasts related to crime investigation and paranormal activities, allowing me to enter the minds of investigators while listening to it. Now, this is the whole story of the question why in my life. Now, let's get straight to the point of my achievements throughout my years. In terms of general academic achievements, in PSPM 1, I was able to achieve CGPA 4.0. Not only that, in SPM, I was able to achieve 10A plus, 1A and 1A minus. I also became the school valedictorian throughout my 5 years of studies in secondary school. In addition, for UPSR, I was able to achieve 8 A's. In terms of academic level competitions, my notable achievements are silver medal in International Earth Science Olympiad, National Team Field Investigation, very good award in Arts in Earth Science in the International Earth Science Olympiad, gold award in IIC IPC, silver award in IIC FE, and also silver award in iRise. Not only that, here are my rest of my achievements displayed on the screen. Not only that, I also involve myself in extracurricular activities such as taekwondo and robotics. In taekwondo, I was able to participate in national level taekwondo sparring competition and I was able to achieve gold medal and silver medal throughout my years. Not only that, I also was able to progress myself to obtain Pum belt where I was able to teach to young students about taekwondo as a tutor. In robotics, I was also able to achieve bronze medal in soccer board competition and also was able to progress myself forward throughout my course to achieve advanced level certification, allowing me to become a young tutor over there as well. Not only that, I was also able to progress myself to Red Crescent first aid skills courses as well, allowing me to gain skills over there and also able to make use of it in the paramedics club. This will allow myself to actually excel forward throughout my course in matriculation. Not only that, this knowledge of various fields allow me to actually lead as a leader, allowing me to communicate productively to my teammates. In terms of leadership experience, in Police Matriculation College, I've been in various roles which will be displayed in the screen. In SMK Tengku Ampang Rahimah, here are my leadership roles. In SJKT Simpan Lima, here are my roles as a leader. I'm also passionate in learning languages by myself. I've personally mastered 3 languages, which are the Malay language, the English language, and the Tamil language in all components such as the comprehension, writing, listening, and speaking. In terms of digital literacy, I'm competent in all of the Microsoft applications, editing software such as Canva, and also video editing software such as CapCut and InShot. Not only that, I've also mastered web development using various frameworks such as Vue.js, React Framework, and AngularJS. Not only that, using Python programming language, I've also studied about machine learning as mentioned previously in software such as PyTorch, and also database development using relational database management systems such as the MySQL and Microsoft SQL. These digital skills allow me to be well versed in every project, ensuring flexibility in team projects as a whole. Medicine is the first and unwavering choice of course. My interest in this field was seeded in a very young age, shaped by the same curiosity I mentioned earlier in the video. As a child, I often questioned my mother about the many patients that I saw in hospitals, why they were there, and why illnesses existed at all. Her explanation that sickness arises from multiple factors sparked something foundational in me. That moment did not merely answer the question. It ignited the way of thinking that since shaped my worldview and personal identity as a whole. This early curiosity translated into action as I actively involved myself in Red Crescent Society, where I developed deep and sustained interest in first aid and emergency response. I was able to use my first aid skills to become a paramedic in SMK Tengku Ampang Rahimah and Police Matriculation College as well, allowing me to improve my first aid skills for practicing it. Not only that, exposure to practical and hands-on care strengthened my resolve and gave tangible meaning to the idea of service. Studying biology further accelerated this trajectory as well. Through science, I was able to systematically explore the complexity of human biology and critically engage the mechanisms and underlying disease and treatment. Each concept learned created a domino effect of inquiry, reinforcing my desire to understand not only what happens in illnesses, but why it happens and how it can be addressed effectively as a doctor. I strongly believe that the purpose of human existence in the sacred earth is contribution to both living and non-living systems that sustain life in earth. Anchored by this belief, I committed to the lifelong path of service to everyone. My aspiration in medicine is driven by my interest to serve communities and alleviating suffering, and also contribute meaningfully to the treatment of detrimental illnesses for the greater good of society. That's why I want to become a doctor. Not only that, my personal choice of universities are public universities in Malaysia as they offer the best facilities imaginable to study medicine as a whole and allow me to acquire essential medical skills after completing my studies. Not only that, the course structure offered by public universities covers all topics systematically in a semester-based system or a block-based system based on university that's offering. I'm also able to familiarize myself with hospitals in Malaysia throughout my studies, allowing me to contribute effectively in my service. Not only that, the tuition fees is affordable for my family as well in public universities, reducing the financial burden of my family. After 5 years of graduating the medical course, I will continue my housemanship and become a medical doctor in public hospitals. After that, I would like to progress myself in neurosurgery residency program provided by the public universities in Malaysia. After that, I will progress forward to continue fellowship in pediatric neurosurgery where I am able to treat severe illnesses that involve the central nervous system for children below 12 years old. Not only that, I also would like to contribute to public hospitals because public hospitals will allow various medical treatments for people in need as well and also offer the facilities that's required for neurosurgery. Not only that, I would also would like to teach surgical techniques for future students in Malaysia to train new surgeons due to the increasing population number in Malaysia. Before ending this video, I strongly believe in a quote by Plato in his well-known book, The Republic. Knowledge, which is acquired under compulsion, obtains no hold on the mind. So that's if you want to communicate with me, here are my contact details and my LinkedIn profile to see my progress in education and co-curriculum as a whole.